So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to Finders Keepers Property Intelligence 2025. Lovely to see so many familiar faces. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Paul. I'm Paul from Finders Keepers. I'm delighted to welcome you to St John's this evening. This is our 15th year of Property Intelligence. And St John's, founded in 1555 by Sir Thomas White. Unlike other Oxford colleges that were mostly founded by clergy or royalty, Sir Thomas was a wealthy tailor and merchant, and his goal was to support education and the Catholic faith during Queen Mary's reign. You will have likely just walked through the Canterbury Quadrangle, which is said to have been inspired part of Hogwarts in the Harry Potter films. And St John's, as I was talking to a few people before this, is the wealthiest of all the Oxford colleges. The property portfolio, it's saying when you look on the web, 1.5 billion, but I should think it's probably substantially more than that. And this wealth allows the college to provide substantial financial support for academia and to maintain top-drawer facilities and housing. And notable alumni include William Laud, Archbishop of Canterbury and Chancellor of Oxfordshire, renowned poets and novelists including Phil Larkin, Kingsley Amis, Robert Graves, and the one and only Tony Blair. So, why do we run Property Intelligence? Well, a great example is a recent survey of over 1,000 landlords in London, and it identified that 84% of those landlords were either unaware or had no real knowledge of the Renters' Rights Bill. So Finders Keepers, we run these events throughout the year, including this seminar, to keep you properly updated so you can make strategic and informed decisions about your property investments. Charity update, quick charity update. So we've already raised over £10,000 for Oxfordshire Mind so far this year, which is great. And we've got half a dozen staff running the Oxford Half Marathon shortly. Doug, who is also speaking this evening, he's going to be running the Abingdon Marathon in October. Well done, Doug. And we've got our annual charity shoot at Edge Hill near Banbury on the 18th of October. So very useful to have a client who owns the shooting ground. If you've never shot before or you're a seasoned shot, then if you're interested, then please register your details with my colleague Charles Saunders after the speeches. So our speakers tonight, Douglas Lloyd, Associate Director and Head of Letting at Finders Keepers, and he's going to update us on the changes in the Oxfordshire market. Anisha Beveridge, great to have Anisha here. She's Head of Research for Hamptons, and she's going to talk about market trends both locally and nationally. And for those of you who aren't aware, Hamptons is a sister company to Finders Keepers, so that's why Anisha is here today. And following Anisha, we've got Nick Baldwin from Capital Private Finance. Nick has worked with Finders Keepers for many years, helping our clients with financing, and he's going to give us insights into financial solutions for your investment properties, limited company buy-to-let financing, and borrowing for those of us over 55. And last by no means least, we have David Smith, well-known legal figure specialising in property litigation and regulation, and with a particular interest in new legislation. And David will give us the very latest on the exciting and impending Renters' Rights Bill. And we've got staff from across the business here, so bricks and mortar renovations team, decorum interiors and furnishing, and the senior leadership team in lettings, property management and sales. So the sales includes FK Sales and Flowers Estate Agency, whom we acquired as part of the FK Group back in 2023. So that's it from me. Let's get started. So I would like to welcome our first speaker, Douglas Lloyd. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's doing okay. So today I'm going to be talking about the Oxfordshire property market from Finders Keepers' point of view. We'll have a look at how things have changed over the past 12 months or so. We'll have a look at how demand, supply, rent and tenant behaviour has shifted and what that means for you guys as landlords. I'm also going to touch on the sales market. So let's begin with tenant demand. So in the first 7 months of this year, we registered 5,276 applicants. Now that's down just a touch from 5,946 in the same period last year, about 11%. But the pattern this year has been much more stable, less spiky than last year. We've seen consistent demand throughout the year. So with this dip in demand, we've seen an improvement in supply. So the average number of available properties per month rose from 82 in 2024 to 100 in 2025 across FK's 9 letting offices. So that's a 22% increase in stock. So this is helping to ease the pressure that we've seen in the market, the intensity that we've seen over the last few years. And this increase in supply is a result of fewer landlords opting to sell, and we have seen a bit of that over the last few years, and more people deciding to buy rather than rent. We've also seen a slight increase in investor activity as well. So applicant behaviour has shifted noticeably. In 2024, it was all about urgency. Many applicants were making snap decisions. This year, however, people are taking their time and they're prioritising their budget over anything else as the cost of living continues to rise. We're also seeing more applicants with pets. I read somewhere there are 22 million cats and dogs in the UK. So landlords who are open to tenants with pets are benefiting from faster lets. So letting activity has remained strong. In the first half of this year, we negotiated 984 lets. Now that's down just a little bit from 1,069 in 2024. Renewals, however, have held steady, 1,869 this year compared to 1,851 last year. So that means that 65% of all of the tenancies that finders keepers have arranged this year have been renewals. So this demonstrates the ongoing trend that tenants are staying longer and landlords are benefiting from shorter void periods or reduced voids. There will of course be regional variances across our offices. So let's talk about rents. In the first half of this year, average rents across finders keepers rose from £1,585 a month to £1,622, about a 2.3% increase, just slightly higher than the 2.2% growth we saw over the same period in 2024. And the key driver with this is quality. Properties that are well presented and offer good value for money are achieving the best results. And so far this year, we've seen some significant rent increases following renovation projects. So our Bicester office let two bedroom houses on the same street. They went on the market just a month apart. One was listed at £1,150 per calendar month, and the other one, which was finished to a higher standard and had some renovation, was listed at £1,500 per calendar month. And also in Witney, the landlord upgraded this 4-bedroom property via our in-house renovations team before the lettings team relet it for a whopping 47% increase in rent. However, price sensitivity is growing. We've seen examples where properties have been listed on the market for too much money. They've sat there with no activity until the price is adjusted. So flexibility and realistic pricing are important, and more important than ever. So affordability is still a really key issue. Private renters in England are spending a growing share of their income on rent, and in Oxfordshire, where rents are already high, this is putting further pressure on tenants. That said, the market does continue to surprise us. So one of the most exciting developments that Finders Keepers has been involved in recently is the Kimmeridge in Botley, so one of Oxford's first true build-to-rent schemes, 150 high-spec apartments complete with communal spaces and a gym. Despite the premium pricing on this development, demand has been consistently strong and they are all now let. And the Kimmeridge demonstrates that Oxfordshire's rental market is evolving and the demand for modern, professionally managed homes is very much alive. So 50% of the apartments that finders keepers have let in the Kimmeridge have gone to professional tenants associated with Oxford University. 20% are employed in the medical field and 10 are in the automotive industry. That's 10% in the automotive industry. So this tenant mix reflects the strength of Oxford's employment base. So moving on to a bit of an update on our growing sales department. So recent data from UK House Price Index shows that house price growth across Oxfordshire has largely flatlined over the past 12 months. While there are regional and price band variations, the overall trend has been one of minimal movement. Now this isn't entirely surprising given the complex market conditions. Economic growth has been slow and recent stamp duty ban changes prompted a rush of buyers ahead of the 1st of April deadline. There are also strong rumours of a complete reform of the stamp duty system, which, though unconfirmed, are likely influencing vendor behaviour. Rachel Reeves is reportedly considering a tax on the sale of homes over $500,000 and the removal of the capital gains tax exemption on primary residences over $1.5 million. We're also seeing a clear supply and demand imbalance. There are more properties on the market than buyers, and it remains a buyer's market. This is especially true in Oxford, where higher average house prices amplify the impact. So sellers must price competitively to attract interest, and savvy buyers are negotiating really hard. And from our boots on the ground experience, the market continues to be incredibly price sensitive. Leasehold sales remain really challenging, particularly on the conveyancing front. But the most active areas are the towns and villages outside Oxford, Witney, Abingdon, Bicester and Banbury, where 2 and 3 bedroom properties are selling well, provided the pricing is accurate. So it's worth noting that FK Sales has achieved an average of 98% of asking prices throughout 2025, demonstrating the value of a highly skilled agent in what is a tough market. And as Paul mentioned, you'll be aware of our acquisition of Flowers Estate Agents in Woodstock, which continues to cement its reputation as the go-to agent for period homes in North and West Oxfordshire. So, despite the traffic, Oxford continues to rank among the UK's top 10 residential investment cities. And we've seen landlords expanding their portfolios across the county. So we continue to offer really interesting investment propositions, many of which are off-market or involve properties with tenants in situ. So if you are looking to add to your portfolio, we can help, whether you're looking to buy a single property or an existing portfolio or a small development or some land, we can help you with that. But the strongest demand remains in the 1 and 2 bedroom market, and well-presented properties, as I've said, continue to outperform. Now, understandably, some landlords are approaching the market with caution, and that's largely due, I would say, to the Renters' Rights Bill. Now, I'm not going to talk about the Renters' Rights Bill today. I have done for many years in the past, but today we've got David Smith, who is an expert on the subject. He's going to be joining us on stage shortly to talk about it. What I will say is this, that yes, some landlords have decided to exit the market and sell up. And yes, the political environment isn't particularly landlord-friendly right now. But property still remains one of the most secure and rewarding places to invest your money, especially in Oxfordshire. So why Oxfordshire? Because it offers a unique combination of factors. A really strong local economy, consistent rental demand, and world-class academic institutions that attract people from all over the world. So the growth and expansion of the Oxford Science Park to include the £1 billion investment by the Ellison Institute of Technology, who are also leading the charge on the reopening of the Cowley branch line to support the creation of up to 10,000 new jobs. Other areas of expansion and job creation include the Siemens Healthineers £250 million MRI technology facility near Bicester, Oxford North Innovation District, £700 million development designed to support the next century of scientific and technological breakthroughs. Milton Park expansion, £40 million nebula development targeting science, technology and advanced engineering companies. And Culham AI Growth Zone, so a major initiative positioning Oxfordshire at the forefront of the UK's AI revolution. So these are just some examples of Oxfordshire's commitment to sustainable growth and innovation. And it really strengthens the region's appeal to high-value tenants and investors. Add to that the recent easing of interest rates and you have a market that still offers excellent long-term potential. And for landlords who are proactive, adaptable and professionally supported, the opportunities are very real. So, Finders Keepers is actively helping landlords and vendors adapt to a rapidly evolving market and regulatory landscape. We're closely monitoring the Renters' Rights Bill and other emerging legislation. Our team provides timely updates and practical guidance to ensure landlords remain compliant and well prepared for changes. With affordability pressures and shifting tenant behaviours, thorough vetting is more important than ever, and we've enhanced our referencing process using AI tools to detect inconsistencies and flag potential risks early. Regulatory scrutiny is increasing, and we've strengthened our due diligence protocols accordingly. Our systems now include automated anti-money laundering checks and international sanctions. Our in-house renovations team works with landlords to modernise properties, improve energy efficiency and meet ever-evolving tenant expectations. We've seen more self-managed landlords switching to our fully managed service to stay ahead of regulatory changes and reduce stress. We offer tailored packages to free up landlords to focus on their investment strategy while we handle the day-to-day. So to sum up, Oxfordshire remains a resilient and evolving market. While challenges like affordability and legislative change are real, so too are the opportunities. We're here to help you navigate that journey with confidence. So thank you very much for your time today. Thank you for listening to me. If you want some advice on your portfolio or your property, so thank you very much. I'm now going to hand over to my colleague, Anisha from Hamptons.